Morning, everyone. This is Stacey Schroeder, President and Founder of EVelop, here to give you just a quick video walkthrough of a recent webinar training that we delivered for a manufacturing association. This was for one of their live leadership development programs that we've pivoted to partially virtual due to the circumstances. This particular session was 1 hour on meeting and team management. So we're just going to quickly walk through so you get a feel for the style and some of the content that we deliver. So with every presentation, we start off with some ground rules to make sure that people are feeling comfortable participating actively, they've got a learning mindset, and they're willing to commit to doing something different after the session. And then we always have an agenda. So what are the specific things that we're going to cover? What are the learning objectives? So what are they expected to do differently after the session? And then I try to sprinkle in some humor. So this one I thought was pretty funny. Dilbert's always a great go-to for work type trainings. So then we roll right into the first topic for this one, which was effective meetings. So what are the attributes of effective meetings? So we talked through purpose, agenda, having the right people, making sure everyone is participating, and strategies for getting both dominant people to maybe talk a little less and getting shy people to maybe share a little more. And then action items are clear and have owners and due dates. And then, of course, we open it up to participants to see what else they'd like to share. So we make it just a quick 3-step process. And then we talk about first getting ready to meet. So for each of these with the asterisk, we have some things for the folks to consider. And then we ask, what other questions should you consider as you think about, is a meeting even necessary, or could it be a phone call or an email, for example? And then do you have the right people there? And are you giving people enough time to review the pre-work? And do people have specific responsibilities? And is there an agenda that covers all these items? So then what we did is built a sample meeting agenda based on the industry that the participants are in. And we walked through this step by step. And then we asked for feedback on what else is there, what questions do you have, etc. And then we get into meetings. So if you're the facilitator of the meeting, what are some things that you should do as sort of ground rules? So we developed a pre-meeting checklist that we shared out after the fact as well. And then we talked about running meeting activities. So what are the things that are pretty common in a meeting? So there's presenting, there's discussing, there's brainstorming, there's problem solving, and there's decision making. But there's nuances and best practices around each of those. So we walked through this in detail as well, and again, asked for feedback and had some good peer discussions. And then we roll into the last phase, so making sure that you've got alignment, agreement, and commitment from all participants. And if you're using new processes to manage meetings now, it's worth evaluating and asking people for feedback, and then continuing to adjust over time to make sure that the meetings are effective for the way that your company does business. So then we do a couple little follow-ups around meetings, and then we shifted gear to talk about teams. Remember, this was just a quick 1-hour session, so obviously not super in-depth, but enough useful information where each individual was able to commit to some changes in behavior. So for teams, we talked about what are effective team members. So really, what are those things that people that are comfortable working collaboratively and are feeling safe and authentic are able to do? So they are able to ask for help. They accept questions and input. They give one another the benefit of the doubt. I like to call that. They assume good intent. They tap into one another's skills and expertise. They offer apologies when they're wrong. And they focus on the important stuff, not the politics and bureaucracy of the company. And then we get into, okay, so what does that mean? What's good about a team that commits? Well, it means you're able to change direction as the market changes or as inputs change. You can move forward without hesitation. You can take advantage of opportunities before competitors can. But then we talk about, what are the common dysfunctions of a team, right? So there's that are listed. And then we go through these step by step, but we don't just list what, we also say what's the impact? And then we give a little synopsis of what the leader's responsibility is to improve the particular area. So they walked away with 5 tips, one related to each functions. So pretty quickly here. Throw in, pictures, of course, as well. And we went ahead and asked for feedback if they had examples or things they thought interesting about these. And then we got to the point where it's, well, how do we get there? So here are some additional strategies to drive each of these 5 areas to a better state. And then we recapped the learning objectives. And then we talked about an action plan. So we asked everyone to reflect on what we'd covered, write down 1 or 2 specific behaviors they want to start, stop, or modify to drive improved meeting or team management. And then we asked them to share with a supervisor or a peer, and I volunteered myself as well if they want an accountability partner outside of the company. And that's all it was. So I hope you found this helpful and informational, and we look forward to working with you.